Hi, thanks for clicking the link. My name's Ben and I'm making a game in Unity called Broken. This is my devlog number 11 and I apologise for these enormous headphones I'm having to wear today. My microphone's screwed, so I'm having to use these, and also apologies if it's a little bit crackly. I did a test run and the audio isn't that great. But hey ho, just wanted to crack on with the show anyway. So last week I had a pretty bad week. I ruined my game somehow. Oh yeah, that was right. I reset my packages to default and everything went wrong. It all went black and white, and yeah, didn't work. So luckily I had a backup, managed to get it sorted, and now I'm back in the place where I can continue with my game, which is great. So I'm going to quickly go through some changes I've made, and let's get started by loading the thing. Come on, Unity, do your thing. Just to call out, this map isn't mine. That's just a placeholder for now. Haha! So I've got the menu. This is actually, having a menu has made the game suddenly feel like a game. I normally go straight into it, so having this is awesome. Awesome, actually. You can hear the music from Tyler playing in the background, and we rotate around the island. I've got some dummy buttons. The options and credits don't do anything at the moment. Turns out they do. They shouldn't be doing that. Let's just go back. Oh no, the demo's screwed. This is the way it goes with demos, isn't it? Oh, I didn't do my beer. I've already started anyway, and it's a hobgoblin. Standard stuff. Yeah. So this is what I wanted. Nothing overly complicated for a menu. Options and credits will come later. Continues working. You can see the flickering on the shadows there. I'm going to work that out. Just must be the draw distance and stuff. The ocean is placeholder at the moment. I'm not a fan of that. It's far too tiled, and it's obvious. At the moment we're rotating around the orb, and it's going to be rotating around the island. Got a new logo. Decided to go with the game name Broken in the end. So moving away from the photographer, which I always felt was a bit of a mouthful. Didn't really like it. I like Broken because it's short, it's effective, and there seems to have been 2 games made in the past called Broken, but they're no longer published, or there's nothing that I can find around them, so it's quite unique at the moment. I mean, it's not going to be a trademarkable name, but I'm not worried about that. So yeah, Broken. And when we hit continue, you kind of saw it before, but we've got this awesome effect, I like it anyway, where we zoom in to your last position. So if I hit continue, I've got a bug there where these buttons don't register properly. They only register on the right hand side in a very small area. For the life of me, I can't work that one out. I'll show you some options, show you some settings in a minute. But yeah, hit continue, bang, and we flash into the game. Got the new font. I'm using a new font which is totally free. I had a look at the license. It's all good for commercial use, which is really nice, and it's a lovely looking font actually, and I think it fits the theme perfectly with the sort of, it's got a confirmative feel to it. Yeah, I like it. Very neat and tidy, very easy to read, easy on the eyes. What else we got? The story I've been working on. I've actually started writing a script, which I'll just pause this for a second and head on over to here. I can show you some progress on that. So I had this sort of epiphany the other day. Years ago, I when I was at uni, I did digital arts and video production, and it kind of hit me that I've got all the skills to do this, and I don't know why it's not really sort of hit me before earlier. But digital arts, I learned how to make games. Well, I didn't really. I learned how to do animations, draw, get computers to draw, learn how to do audio, websites, applications, you name it, anything digital. That's what they taught us at uni. And I also did video production. So in video production, I learned how to write a script, how to film, how to handle a camera, and all kinds of things like that. So yeah, I had this strange epiphany the other day. I was like, why have I not thought about this earlier? I should sort of recall back on, or look at my go back in time and try and revise a bit and sort of think about what I learnt there and bring it to the table for now. So one of the things I learnt about script writing is it's really helpful to have a character profile. Hence I've got a character profile now, and this is the main protagonist, a little bit about him and his appearance, his personality and motivation. And this really helps with writing the script actually. So now I've got that sort of background, I can think like, well, how would this person behave, or how would they think in this situation? Sounds simple when I say it out loud, but I should have done this from day one really. This has also got me thinking about the voiceover, and I've been looking on Fiverr for now for voiceover actors. I might just pay a few quid to see how that works out. I also looked at like the text to speech options, which there are some really good tools, but they're just not natural enough really, are they? They're not going to get the emotion across. Got a bit of a prologue now. This is going to set the tone to the player. There'll be a little introduction that's going to set the tone. So hopefully you think it's not hopefully, but obviously it sounds a bit sad and depressing. It was then that I realised this world wasn't for me. I closed my eyes and said goodbye. Hopefully as a player you're going to want to know, well, what's that all about? And as the story progresses you'll find out. And as you can see, I've started to break it down. I had to set things like this. I'm terrible with tense when it comes to writing. I'm also terrible with like the way that I write. It depends what mood I'm in, will depend on how it actually comes out. So I have to sort of remind myself this is internal monologue and it's looking back on the events. So this isn't in this, you're playing the game, obviously you're playing the game in real time, but the story's being told as if it's already happened and this person's telling you what happened in those events. And I keep screwing up on that because I keep falling into real time as I'm writing. So first draft, I'm going to have to come back and refactor it. I've gotten quite far, as you can see there's quite a bit of dialogue. I decided I'm not going to try and write it for the game just yet. What I might do is write the story and then come back and take the parts of the story and work out how that'll fit into the game. And a lot of that's already in the game anyway at the moment, but there's a lot of text in here which I can't have in the game because you'd be forever stood in one place trying to read it all. So yeah, I'm going to come back and refactor this, but the story's coming on quite nicely. I've got to the point now where I need to think about what happens, because I know where I want it to end and I know what message I want it to have, just not quite sure how you get there and how that translates to game at the moment. So yeah, the broken story is coming along. Happy days, that's good. I've also had a little play with logos. Been tinkering around. Obviously originally I think it was more like this. If I get rid of that, this was more like my first draft broken. Obviously the white orb in the middle is supposed to represent the strange object in the sky. And yeah, it's interesting with this because I've been thinking, like, do I want to give the game away at the beginning? Do I want to, like, the original intent for this game was like, oh, it's a beautiful island, you're walking around it, you're taking photographs, and something strange happens, and then the story sort of progresses. And I didn't want the player to know that something strange was going to happen. But then I'm thinking, well, when I would watch a film, I kind of want to know what the theme is. If I'm in the mood for a sci-fi film, I want to know it's a sci-fi film. I don't want to be caught out. However, then I think back to, like, again, like the film when at uni, when we were looking at films and breaking those down, Dusk to Dawn was an awesome example of, like, you're watching this film thinking it's one thing and suddenly it turns into vampires, and that was like a real hey, wait, what? And that's kind of what I wanted with the original version of Broken, was that sort of like, wait, what's going on here? And and that can be given away, or there can be clues given away in the logo and in the name. And I'm still undecided how far I want to go with that. So I had a little play anyway. Sort of alien waves, maybe alien waves and the orb. The broken being broken. This, why am I calling it broken and not say, I don't know, aliens from Mars or something a bit more obvious? I think because it's a story, and it's a story of a person, and I feel like that person internally, their mental well-being is broken, and the story is about them, and that's how they see themselves, is they're a bit broken at the moment. So that's why I'm calling it broken for now. Then again, I've called it a number of things, so we'll see how we progress on that. But yeah, I do like the name. I always had a little go at trying to do some sort of cyberpunk-ish type of overlation of the yellow and green RGB type of thing. Doesn't really show when you zoom out. I'm not sure. So yeah, anyway, playing around with logos, got the storyline coming along, got myself a menu this week, and I'm back to where I was essentially last week, where, for the game at least, for the game development, where I now need to start saving and loading your progression. Last week I started writing a script after following a tutorial, and that's where it all went a bit Pete Tong, because that script wouldn't, for whatever reason, would not apply to any game object. So I'm going to try it with Playmaker this time, see if I get a bit further. Playmaker has this thing, where's it gone? Ecosystem browser. It's not the prettiest thing to look at, but it's quite useful. You can type in, say, save load, and people who have developed plugins for Playmaker, or developed plugins for the Playmaker, they show up here, and you can download them, install them, and extend Playmaker's capabilities, which is kind of cool. So I had a look at some of these to see if I could get a nice sort of quick save load option. They don't all work. I think some of them are incompatible with my version of Playmaker because they're probably quite old. Which, you know, the solution to that is just delete it from the Playmaker directory and try another one. So save load. Other little quirks that I'm hitting at the moment. These buttons, as I say, they're not working as expected, and neither are the GUI buttons anymore. The in-game. Yeah, you see, like, the mouse is over that should be highlighting. It works over here. So I feel like there's some sort of boundary for the button, but it's set over here and not across the button. I've looked at the event system. I've got the event system. That's there. It seems to be the standard. You have the event system and standalone input. I've not changed or touched those. I've looked at where are we? Menu. Sorry, my bad. I've looked at the layer, so I can see the sort order. I've tried tweaking that. Maybe, you know, it's on the wrong layer. Oh, I thought I had it then. No, no go. Raycasters, they're all there. I don't understand why it's saying 2D, 3D like that for a start. Shouldn't that be the number 2 and D? Anyway, that doesn't make any difference. I copied and pasted a button from this menu which was working, which is now not working. You know, you used to be able to highlight that and select it and it'd zoom out. So there's something going on with my buttons, essentially. It's a little bit frustrating. I've tried the Text Mesh Pro and the standard buttons and same effect. Really not sure what's going on. I turned off like all scripts and that as well, just to see if like I'd been a dick and disabled it somehow, or like messed it up. Yeah, so that'd be nice once I can get that load sorted and get the save load stuff going, and I think I'm then just gonna. Actually, what I might do is just leave the dev side stuff alone for a few days and just focus on the story and really hone in onto that for a bit. I think that's part of the reason I've not progressed as much as I would have liked, apart from the technical issues. I feel like I've gotten to the nighttime scene, and because I don't have a lot of animations, because I don't have a lot of experience with Unity and like know how to model, 3D model, because I don't know how to code to the sort of degree where, you know, I could have puzzles floating around that you can interact with and that sort of stuff. I have to keep it simple, but I still want it to be interesting. And I feel like nighttime, I've got 1, 2 maybe puzzles side sorted, which are quite easy to implement, and I've already done one, which is with the drones. But I don't really know where to go with it, and I think that's partly because of the story, and partly because, yeah, as I say, the technical side just isn't there yet with me and Unity. So I'm going to spend some time writing a story, try and get that tidied up, get that to a point where I'm happy with that. Then I think I can start thinking about nighttime mode and the nighttime scene in a bit more detail, and how you're going to traverse the island, because at the moment it seems a bit back and forth. You know, you see something, you go over there, you see something, you come over here, you see something, you go over there, you see something, you come over here. In my mind, this was going to be a bit of an open world game, and as you walked around, things would happen in front of you, rather than it sort of being, yeah, a bit of a, I don't know, a chase game. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have a quick sip of beer. So yeah, pretty good week. Happy with that. Yeah, we've got nice weather in the UK at the moment as well, so that's actually good, isn't it? 'Cause it lifts your spirits, and I've been able to get out a bit more with the family. And I've got a nice little camping trip planned this weekend, so I'm hoping to relax a little and think about this, maybe as I'm watching the fire burn. I'm also, this sounds weird, I'm on this, there's a few things going on at work. One of the things they've been teaching us, or one of the things I signed up for at work, is this meditation course. Now, I've never meditated in my life before. I wasn't up for it. I don't know why I signed up for it, to be honest, actually, because it's not really me, and because I have the same visions that you've probably got of, like, you know, cross-legged on a mountaintop, humming to yourself, and that's not what it is. I'm actually enjoying it. It's not as easy as I thought it would be either, after like attending the first session and hearing what the guy had to say. But I'm enjoying it, and it doesn't tie into this at all officially, but it ties into what I'm about to say in my mind with the CE5 thing, the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And this is where it gets a bit funny for me to sort of talk about, because, like, I've always wanted to believe in aliens and UFOs, right? I loved X-Files. I was definitely a moulder. Like, you know, I wanted to believe, and as a kid, a teenager, I remember sort of like overnight camping, trying to get into places I shouldn't be, always looking for something a little bit naughty, something a bit out there. I wanted to believe there was aliens, but I always had that sort of Scully side of me as well, which was like, well, I'll believe it when I see it, and I need some evidence before I just believe. And this, as I say, like a few weeks ago, I've been watching a lot of films and shows on Amazon. I'm rambling now, so feel free to switch off if you're not interested. But I started watching these shows on Amazon. I started with a fake alien abduction thing that was kind of like the Blair Witch, but you know, a slight twist on that. Didn't really like that. Ended up watching these other documentaries and got into the whole Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is human beings making contact with extraterrestrials through the power of meditation. And this is where I'm thinking, like, okay, something like this when I was young happened. It was bizarre, I can explain it. Me and my mate and his dad were out night camping. We were out camping. Goes through the night, and he was a fanatic, like big time on this sort of thing, which is part of the reason I enjoyed like hanging around with him and his son Dal, because yeah, it was all good stuff. And he took us camping to these woods, and one night we were looking at the stars. I mean, yeah, we were looking at the stars, and this just sounds so weird even saying it out loud. But there was something like I couldn't explain, which was stars that were moving quite quickly and in weird patterns. And you know, I remember at the time trying to justify it in my mind, well, maybe it's satellites, but satellites don't move in a square-like pattern. Or maybe it's like space junk and you've got light reflecting from one to another and it just looks like they're moving. But then it would either be here as the light reflects off it, and then as the light reflects off it, where these were actually moving. And yeah, I always found that a bit odd that evening. You know, this dad who was with us was like, you know, if you believe, if you want it bad enough, you'll see it. You know, these beings will abduct you if you really want to be abducted. I didn't want to be abducted. No, you know, not with the old probing. Maybe just to say hi and all that, and have a look around and nick some technology, but not for anything else. Yeah. Anyway, so I was watching these other shows, and this guy, I'm terrible with names and film names. I can't remember it. It's on Netflix. If you type in C5, it's going to be the #1 hit. He sort of started this movement. I think I touched on it before about like meditating to make contact with aliens. Coming up to this weekend camping. Should I give it a go? See what happens. Got nothing to lose. Is it a bit daft? Probably. Is anything going to happen? Nah. Would I see stuff moving? Maybe. You know, I'm going to be having a few beers, so that might help. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, looking forward to it. Just going to get out, get some fresh air, and yeah, have a look at the venture, and then come back. And hopefully, this time next week, the story's going to be cemented to some degree, and there'll be a nice twist to go with it. Anyway, I've been rambling for far too long, and yeah, I will catch you later.